like I said, well, that answers part of my question, you know. Uh,
But you know what? If I was abducted, honestly, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to live the experience over again. So, I mean, from the standpoint of when the people are being abducted, I mean, the majority of them, it seems like it's erased from their brain that they were abducted. They just, like in your case, I mean,
yep,
you could be sitting in your car, right? And all of a sudden,
yep.
2 days later, you're still sitting in your car where you pulled over. I mean, it's scary. And that,
Well, and I'm sure it has been. Like I said, Dr. Leir's book, he talks about some of the patients, and they were very, most of them are very uncomfortable. I mean, it really wasn't a picnic in the park, and I'm sure, of course, it has to be unsettling to some degrees. And like I said, I can take a little solace that I don't have that problem, but it's still I have the other side of the coin. But like I said, yeah, there's some people, and we don't know. But then you have people that all the time, and that was one. The year I went to the Congress, in the mornings they'd had an experiencers meeting group, and okay, John Carpenter was in charge of it. And gosh, I can't remember the gal's name. My memory for names is getting pretty lousy. But anyway, they did the talking in the morning, and I'll relate to this. I haven't ever told too many people this story. But anyway, so I go the first morning, and I'm thinking, well, and the first subject that come up was kind of what I was thinking about when I come in the room. And it got discussed, and like I said, it was an interesting place. There was probably 40, 50 people in there, and they was from all over the world. And there was some, and there were some say stuff, and there were some say other stuff. But anyway, let the conversation go on to an hour, a little hour and a half, and then it broke up, and I was thinking about something, and kind of had a red flag up, and I left the room. I really didn't ever say nothing to nobody about it. Well, went back the next morning and get in there, and what's the first subject that gets brought up? Well, it's what I'd been thinking about when I left. It happened every day. It happened all 6 days I went in there.
oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, I was wow. Yeah, well, I realized, and really I'm there, and I realize I'm around quite a bit of a psychic phenomenon. A lot of people around there, and I can sense it. Of course, some people, these old pros, and like I said, I'm the old rookie, but like I can sense. But yeah, it was very interesting to go in there, and and then the next, and even with Dr. Leir, and I just, I didn't bring it up. He was, I didn't want to act, I wanted to see where it goes without any, to be superly sure. The only way I could be superly sure was not saying nothing. And I was there with Dr. Leir and a Greg Avery at the time, and I think Greg Avery paid for a little of my surgery. I think him and Mr. Bigelow paid for, helped out on my surgery. I really didn't get all the details from Dr. Leir, but that was kind of the feeling I got. But like I said, went to this thing and every day. And I went for a week, and it just like clockwork. Boom, 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 every time. And oh yeah, when I left, I mean, it was an eye-opener for me. I always wondered why it was just for me, but it seemed to be. Of course, like I said, I was kind of a popular guy there. But yeah, it was like I said, people from everywhere. Australia, New Zealand, Africa, Asia, and like I say, somebody clear from Timbuktu. And, yeah, let's bring it, and they'd stand up and bring it up. The only sad thing there was always, if I'm supposed to, there was a gentleman there, and when everybody got done talking, he'd get up and have to set the record straight.
To debunk it, you mean, or?
well, whatever. He had to make sure everybody got his interpretation. And it ended up being the man that did have some issues. He wasn't trying to be, but there was I can't remember. I don't want to bring up the subject, but there was a couple ladies, and he ticked them off. So there was about 6 women in there then, and they unloaded on him pretty hard. But I mean, it's not that he really didn't need to be saying anything, but he couldn't keep himself from not saying something. But yeah, these gals, they kind of drummed him out. Of course, I was getting to board the last day, and but I always remembered that. It was a little sad, but that's but to each, everybody's got whatever. I mean, that's the way this went.
Yeah,
it was quite an experience, yes, with Dr. Leir.
What type of person was Dr. Leir? Did you get to know him at all, or?
Oh, yeah, I got to know him, Roger, pretty well. I went to, I really didn't get into his family life or nothing. I mean his wife and his granddaughter, but that was, but me and him were very professional, nice guy, very knowledgeable on a lot of subjects, and just. And was putting a lot of effort into, he sacrificed a lot of his family life to get things done he got done, and people just don't realize that it did that way. But yeah, Roger he was a fine gentleman as I ever met. I mean, I got to, learn to eat a lot of Jewish food and got a lot of good pastrami because he knew all the good places to go to. Yeah, wow. So, and of course, like I said, other people can say, but no, I don't know. And like I said, I didn't, I wasn't mine to ask. We communicated, via email quite a bit, and and really kept in touch. But like I said, was doing something, and he was there, and he was leading the way, and I was trying to help him verify his work and his research.
Wow, he sure proved a lot. Hey, I just got to take a little break here for a split second. Hey, guys, if somebody wants to call in, I've been getting a lot of texts and questions being asked while Tim's been on. You can call if my Skype is working. I'm having, again, issues with Skype. Sometimes it'll take a call, and then the other times, I don't know how many people called to after I exit out of Skype after the show's over, and I find out I had 15 to 17, 20 people that tried calling in, but Skype never told me that you were calling, and I apologize for it. I had a whole bunch again today from last night people tried calling in, and I didn't even know it. It didn't show up. But we can certainly give it a try again tonight. It's 1-253-203-6695. 1-253-203-6695. If you want to ask Tim any questions about his implant or Dr. Roger-Leir, give us a call. Again, at 1-253-203-6695, and I'll put you on with Tim. Hey, Tim, have you been actually happy since you, were you happy that they actually did find an implant and removed it?
Well, after I found the implant, that was one of the things. I get out to California, and Dr. Leir says, well, we better go get an x-ray. And I says, well, why? He says, well, make sure it's in there. No, it was just, like I said, I was a little naive, but when they asked me if I used my name, and then, I said, yeah, okay, I didn't have no problem with it, and then realized, but yeah, once I went out, and it's been interesting. I can't look back on it and say, it's what happened to me is what happened to me, and that's what it was. That's the way it is. That's all I'm going to say, am I happy? Well, I'm not ashamed. It's made it interesting. And like I said, being able to, some of the other things that I can look at and wonder about, and as to this, it's made it interesting. But no, and happy. Hey,
Okay, we got
I'm
a caller here. Who do we have out there? Caller, who do we have?
Yes, hello, Gary. This is Michael calling in.
Oh, hi, Michael. I was having a feeling you'd probably call. Do you want to ask Tim any questions about Dr. Leir or his implant, or maybe about his abduction and everything? Tim, this is Michael. He has a UFO group up here in Washington State. He's kind of famous. Isn't it cool? Cool. We call him the paranormal attorney. He's an attorney, and he's into the paranormal. So anybody who has paranormal questions or need anything help in the paranormal, Michael's the person to talk to. Michael, go ahead. I'll let you ask the questions.
Well, Tim, I would just be interested to know if there was any forensic study done on the isotopic ratios of the implant that you had.
Dr. Leir did research on my implant, just like the ones he has mentioned in his book and all the other ones that he did after me. So, yep, the information's out there. My implant, it cantaloupe seed, and it falls into the same category as the cantaloupe seeds, but biological membrane around it, and non-earthly, semi-non-earthly isotopic metal ratios in the substances that it's comprised of.
Well, fascinating. Did you happen to have any feelings of trepidation when the implant was taken out? Have you felt any different since you had it taken out?
Well, that's a tricky question. Like I said, I don't know. I probably had a little fatigue and developed from fatigue and stuff because, like I said, maybe my neurotransmitter were artificially high. And like I said, when Dr. Machado, who was the general surgeon that took my implant out, put the forceps on it, my arm lit up like I had a hot toaster wire in it because it was hooked to my nervous system. My shoulder hurt me very, very strongly for a couple of hours. I had to wear a sling. Just them little physical deals, but that's basically it.
Have you had, what's the difference in your health? Has your health sustained itself during that period of time, or what?
I really can't say, because I don't know. I know I had, I had oddball things happening to me, and health-wise a little bit. Now, whether they were doing things to me or not, but like I said, I had a liver problem and a heart problem, and I'm still having. But they come and go? Or were they because of the implant, or were they because I took it out, or other things? They're just there, and your guess is as good as mine. Well,
one last question. I'll get off the air here and let you guys continue this great interview. Thank you so much for being there, Tim. Have you had any of those slider syndrome events where streetlights go off when you go by, computers glitch, watches are hard to wear? Have you had that experience in your lifetime as well?
I've had a little bit of that. I think more so when I had the implant in my body and was made aware of those types of things happening. Now, as to lately, not quite as strong, but there for a while I noticed some of that stuff. Yeah.
Well, that is a fascinating testimony right there. That maybe those effects have slowed down since the implant is gone. Thank you for that input.
Hey, now, Michael, I got to ask you a question. Yeah, you were mentioning about, the street lights. It's really funny. When I was probably around in my 20s, when I ran into a UFO in New Mexico, And, I just never really put it together.